Jai Hind, my dear student. Today I am going to teach you about Access creating a database in your computer. So what is database? Can anybody tell me? Okay, I will tell you. What is database? A database is a collection of data organized in a manner that allow easy access, retrieval and use of the data. In a manual database, you might record data on paper and store it in a filing cabinet. Database software is a software that allows you to create, access and manage a database on the computer. The computer stores the data on a storage medium such as hard drive or optical disk. As database management system, that is known as DBMS, Access enable a user to create and maintain these tables, employing sophisticated yet easy to use tools to facilitate defining, constructing and manipulating the data. So what is Microsoft Access? Access is a relational database application designed to handle thousands or a few records depending upon the user need. Access can simply list a collection of names and addresses in a single table or manage complex relationships between data that span several tables. Each specific piece of information in a table is known as value. A value is located at the intersection of row and column. So what are the components of MS Access? In MS Access, the first component is tables, records and fields. In MS Access, a database consists of a collection of tables organized in rows and columns. A record is a row in a table that contains information about a given person, product or an event. A field is a column in a table that contains a specific piece of information within a record. Second component is datasheet and forms. Each table appears as a spreadsheet grid called datasheet. You can type directly into a datasheet. You can create forms which are like dialog boxes that prompt for field entries to make data entry more convenient. Third is filter and queries. You can filter a table to show only desired records and fields. You can also create a query which is like a saved filter. Queries also enable you to combine data from multiple related tables into a single data sheet of results. Fourth is reports. They present data from tables and queries in an attractive format, complete with titles, headers, footers and graphics. So to plan a database, you need to do the following. Decide what the function of the database will be. Determine what information you need, where this information will come from and how it will be entered into the database. Determine the structure of the database and relations between the various tables. Decide on the structure of tables including field names, field types and input validation. Decide which forms, reports and query you will use. So defining a primary key. So what is primary key? A primary key is a special relational database table, column or combination of column designated to uniquely identify all table records. A primary key's main features are it must contain a unique value for each row of data. It cannot contain null value. So to define a primary key, just right click on the row selector of the field to be used as primary key, and second step is click on primary key button. The field will not accept duplicate values. I will show you practically how to define a primary key. I will tell you how to open a MS Access. First, click on the start icon. Click on all program. As you can see, Microsoft Access. The first one is Microsoft Access 2010. click on it. Okay, so here is a MS Access. From there, here you can create a blank database, and from you can create a new database using a template which include pre-built tables and forms that you can use to fill your own data entry easily. You can create a new database and fill data in it. So first click on the blank database. Here type the database name. I am creating a student database, so I am typing here student create. You can create table in two views, datasheet view and design view. So using datasheet view, datasheet view is useful when you need to create a table quickly consisting of few fields. In this view, Access assigns general names to the fields such as field 1, field 2 and so on. So you can create a table by adding new fields simply by typing the field names into the column heading placeholder. So first open a database file and click on the create tab. Now click on the table. So here Access opens a new tables, table 2. Now double click on the column header to create a field name. So I am typing here student ID. Press enter. Now same way appears. Select the data type for the next field. Like I want the next field to be a student name, so it will be a text. So write here name. Next field I want to be a father's name. So now click on it, text, right here father's name. Next in the same way add the tables. You can resize a column by dragging column border from left to right. Like I want this field to be border and father's name, mother's name, address, phone number. Like this you can add as many as record you can want. You can also make your table in design view for greater control on its structure. You can describe the structure of the table before creating it. Here you can enter your own field names and description and choose your own data type to associate with each field. In design view, the window is divided into two panes. First, go to the view tab, create on the design, click on the design view, OK. So here a window appears. This is called upper pan. This pan is called upper pan. Upper pan for creating field name, specifying data types, and for entering the field descriptions. And the lower pane, this is a lower 10 for specifying field properties. For each field you need to specify the following field names. Okay, so the field name must be a phone number. Okay, I am adding here another field, uh, fees. Okay, so the data type will be number. So each field has a data type that defines what you can store in it. Data entry is restricted to valid entries for the type you choose. Like you cannot enter letters in a field set to number. So in description, you can enter detailed description of all the field within the table. So these are the access data types. The first is auto number, that holds record numbering in the either incremental or random. So it stores a unique sequential number for each record. Second is date and time, that holds dates and time in variety of common formats. This type only stores number representing valid data and dates and time. Third is currency. So it stores currency data that you can use in calculation. Short test, this is a general purpose field containing any data. It has a limit of 255 characters and cannot be used for numeric calculation. So use this type for numeric entries that will not have calculation performed on them, such as telephone numbers, zip codes. Next is long text. So this type has a limit of 63,999 characters. It is used for detailed descriptive field. Next is number. So this type stores numeric data that you can use in calculation. Next is yes, no. So the value 1 represent yes and the value 0 represent 0. So but the field can be formatted to display values as true, false or yes, no. Next is OLE object. It stores object created in another application such as Word or Excel that you can link to or fix in a MS Access. Next is hyperlink. It stores URLs for internet location. You can link to websites, email address, files on your computers, files on the LAN or virtually any other location. Next is lookup wizard. So depending on the usage, this type create either a lookup list from the data that you specify or a lookup list for the values in another tables. It can also be used to set up multi-valued list. Last is attachment. You can attach data files from word processing programs, spreadsheets, graphics editing programs and so on. Coming to the design view tab, here you can if you want to change the data type, you can just simply click on the arrow button and change it according to your needs. So I want student ID to be a number, so I am selecting a number. So after selecting the data type, press the tab key to move to the insertion point to the description columns. So in the description, type the description about the field, like I am typing identification of the student. I will tell you how to create a validation rules. So a validation rule is used to limit a field entry to meet certain criteria. By validation rule, you can ensure that the correct values enter into the field. If you make incorrect entry, error alert can stop the user and provide a warning or just provide information. So how to set? First, select the field that you want the validation. Like I want the validation or fees. Like I want the fees to be more than 10,000. So equal to or greater than 10,000. So I'm here typing 10,000. So right here validation text, student fees must be 10,000 or more. So here we have validated a rule that fees should be equal to or more than 10,000. Now let's check the validation rule works or not. Now click on the view, open the datasheet view, save the table. Okay, now enter the second record. Like I want to father's name, mother's name, address, phone number. Okay, now here I am clicking the fees 9,000. Now see, the student fees must be 10,000 or more, so you have to type the fees should be greater than. Okay, click on click button. Now type here yes, and simply here enter. Add the remaining records and save the database. I hope you really enjoyed this video and learned how to create a table in a MS Access. Thank you, students.